Thank you for tuning in to the Panda Bear Magic Podcast. A small reminder, please reach out to a loved one because you never know what someone is going through. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Panda Bear Magic Podcast. My name is Rahana, and my guest today is Miss Multnomah County, Miss Starla Arnold.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm good.
My podcast talks a little bit about self-care, spirituality, a little bit of magic, and I wanted to bring her on because she teaches a little bit about confidence and how to get out there and do things that you haven't done before. And Miss Multnomah County is having her second pageant on, what's the date again?
It is July 16th.
July 16th.
Yeah.
In Salem, Oregon. And what's the location?
It's at the Historic Theater.
Historic Theater in Salem, Oregon. So if everyone has an opportunity to be there that day and support the ladies, that would be a beautiful opportunity to see how the pageant world works and support Miss Multnomah County, Miss Starla Arnold. So I wanted to bring you on because I wanted to talk a little bit about maybe just a little bit about yourself and then what led you to the pageant world and a little bit of your background. I know you're from the Oregon area.
Yeah. So I grew up in Southern Oregon, so I'm an Oregon native, born and raised. Country girl, 80 acres, horses, cows. Not a big fan of cows. Cows and I don't get along. But horses and I definitely do. Lots of animals, dogs. We had wild turkeys running around.
Yes.
You know, all the fun things.
Yeah.
I showed horses for about 10 years, and that was fun. I actually miss the horses, but they're expensive.
Yes.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I grew up. I was born in upstate New York, and my parents had 76 acres of farmland.
Yeah,
and so we didn't have horses, but we had a bunch of other animals. So I know about that.
it's so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing to be surrounded by animals.
Yes, and nature.
And they teach you so much too.
Yes,
like love, life,
happiness.
A little bit of death, but not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the things. Yeah. I think animals are amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too. They're very they're like little angels, I think, that are healers.
Yes.
And even when we're having a hard day, you come home to your dog or you come home to your cat and you can feel better just by being in their presence. They come up and remind you that everything's okay. You don't have to worry.
Oh, yeah.
Take me for a walk and life is better.
Yeah. Yeah, my fur kids definitely know when I'm having a bad day.
Okay. How many fur kids do you have?
I have 4.
Okay. That's awesome.
It's kind of a zoo, but it's a fun zoo. So.
Exactly.
But I have a greyhound and a Boston Terrier and a French bulldog and a Chihuahua. And the Chihuahua runs everything because it's Chihuahua.
Exactly.
He always does.
Yeah.
But yeah, I live in my home with my partner, and we wrangle them around for the most part.
So, growing up on the farm, were you felt more inclined to have animals as you got older?
I actually felt weird when I didn't have animals. There was a little bit of a very small window where I didn't have any animals, and it felt very strange, very strange. And then I got my first Boston Terrier when I was in my early 20s. I moved away when I was 18 because I was like, see ya. Mm-hmm. Done with Southern Oregon.
Done with farm life?
Yeah, well, not even that, just done with Southern Oregon. And moved up here because, everybody knows everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And
small towns.
You never get away from everybody.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm going to move to the city.
What are some hobbies that helped you when you were out on the farm? I know in high school you said you used to go to shop a lot.
Yeah, I used to skip school.
You never skip school, people. Don't listen to her.
Don't do that.
Yep.
But I'd stay at school and go to the shop class. So it's not like, I guess I wasn't really skipping school. I was just going to the wrong class.
Yeah, learning new things.
Yeah. So, but I've always been kind of one of the boys because I always hang out with all the guys. And so I come and help out. And, of course, shop teacher's like, why don't you just take shop class? I'm like, I don't know, because I don't know. Maybe I should, and then I never did. But
you learned a lot of things.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then my dad's always been a tinkerer and, all that stuff, like dirt bikes, tractors. I first learned to drive a tractor when I was like 10.
Nice. So as far as like growing up on the farm, how did this kind of lead you like into the pageantry life? I know you like rode horses and showed horses.
Yeah, I did. So I showed horses competitively for about 10 years. We had paints and quarter horses. So I mostly did like breeds and then also like open shows. So I did Western English, showmanship, trail. I did a little bit of everything.
Oh, wow.
It was a lot of fun. Got a lot of like all arounds and stuff like that. And that was a blast. And I actually did do one pageant when I was young, but I didn't feel like it was really my speed. I was more into the horse thing. So I was like, I'm just going to hang out with the horses.
Yeah, because you have that connection with the animals.
Yeah, it was just a little too much. Some of the stage moms were just a little too much for
What
me.
what kind of pageant was it?
I think it was like Pear Blossom or something. Like
Oh,
I was
that
like
sounds really
I was
cute.
like the Pear Blossom princess. I can't remember.
That's right,
I think
girl.
It was I was one of the little princesses, and I'm like, I got to be in the parade. Hi guys, and that was. I mean, it was exciting, but at the same time, it was just.
It led you to this, though.
Not my thing.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it did. I mean, and as I grew up, I did modeling, and because of like me liking to be into the cars and stuff, I started building cars when I was like 18 and got into imports mostly because imports were way cheaper than domestic cars, and I got into Hondas and started building my first Honda. And
What kind of Honda did you build?
well, I actually still have it. It's like 21 years old, 22. Oh my gosh, it's old. I think about 2000, and I think 2000 was like 10 years
Yesterday?
ago.
Yes.
Not 22 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I built, I was broke just like every other young 20-year-old eating top ramen with, my boyfriend at the time and
Yep.
my buddies. And buying car parts and stuff like that. But it's a 2000 Civic Si.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
My first car was a Honda Prelude.
Oh, I love
It was an
Preludes.
SI. It was I could first gear to fifth gear, and I could be at 60 miles per hour in like 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
It was fun to drive.
But yeah, so I actually still have that car, but then it was featured in an international magazine back in
Nice.
like 2009, Super Street, which isn't around anymore, at least not in print.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Online, though?
online.
Okay.
But not in print. I was so sad
Print
when
died.
print died because
I know.
that was kind of like our era, I feel like.
I
a
think
lot
so,
with,
too. Yeah.
Cars and stuff. Which
I think magazine print, too. I
is
feel the
is
same
sad,
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, so I did that for a long time, and I still do that. Just life gets in the way sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I could pay bills.
Yeah, we all have to pay bills.
I
But
know.
for the free time, like your hobbies, and I think doing the pageant probably can bring some like inner confidence to people, and something you've never done before, maybe.
The pageant's amazing.
I bet.
So one of my good friends who I used to model with way back in the day.
You used to model too. That's awesome.
But yeah, I modeled so all the way from like 2003 all the way to current. I kind of take breaks though because the modeling industry can be it can be a lot. And it's not necessarily the best for confidence sometimes because they're really good about telling you either too fat or too skinny or too tall or too short, and you kind of internalize that. It makes you feel like poo. It's not so great for the self-esteem for sure. I mean, it's great to see you in pictures, but then you become your own critic.
Yeah.
And then you start beating your own self down, and then it's not fun. So I found that, taking breaks from all of that is important for my mental health because if I don't, then I don't know where I'd be if I didn't take those breaks,
That sounds really healthy.
Yeah. And I know a lot of girls that didn't and, we all have issues. I've got mental issues too, but, it's amazing how much like one industry can just affect people so negatively. And some modeling can be amazing. Like I know photographers that are just absolutely fantastic. Like shout out to Tom. He's an awesome dude, and he's probably one of my favorite photographers. I've got more than a few, but I've worked with him for a very long time, and he's one person who makes you feel amazing in your own skin and just such a confidence booster because he's just a good human.
Yes.
Um,
And that's what I mean, me, I haven't been in the modeling industry, but looking at it, that's what I would think I would want from a photographer.
Yeah.
You know, or someone in the industry.
A lot of photographers that are not like that. And then there's also photographers that take advantage of, you know, people who are insecure and stuff because they think that they need to do certain things to get certain things, and that's also not the case. So
how did pageantry kind of fall in line with that?
So my girlfriend, who was Mrs. Oregon American that year, I got to see her crowned, and she's like, "You should really do this." She's like, "I think you would do amazing at it." And I'm like, "You're funny. You're super funny." She's like, "No, I really think you should." And I'm like, "I don't know." And that was like 2020, right when the pandemic hit. And I was like, I'll think about it. So it was like the end of that year, and I was like, you know what? Why not? Because, I mean, we're all feeling shut in.
Absolutely.
Like, I felt like a hermit, and I just, like, I'm going to do something that's outside my comfort zone, which is, that's something definitely outside my comfort zone. Because, I mean, I've done modeling and I've done all that stuff, but it's completely different than all of that. Like, you're really on stage. It's not like, you know, just, you're not like a runway model just walking down the stage and walking back. It's so different. You know, you're getting judged on not just if you're pretty or not, and it's not necessarily if you're pretty, it's just how you hold yourself, how you compose yourself. Do you show confidence when you walk around in your evening gown? It's not like, oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. It's everything about confidence and believing in yourself and feeling comfortable in your own skin.
Beautiful.
And that's what it's about. And people put you in this little box. They're like, oh, you do pageants. Well, yeah, but it's not, don't put me in a box, because I'm not in a box. Like, there's pageant girls from all walks of life.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted to do it at first was because, you know, I'm not your typical pageant girl. Like, I've got tattoos, and I ride motorcycles, and I build cars, and, you know, I'm a little bit crazy, and I do skydiving, and, you know, I enjoy life, and I do things that people don't think are normal, and that's fine, because they don't have to. Everybody's got their own lane that they enjoy, and that's mine. But I wanted to show other women that you don't have to be in this little box
Absolutely.
to do a pageant. Yeah. Because I've gotten so much out of pageant. I don't know. I've gotten so much out of it that I never thought I would. I just thought, like, it'd get me outside my comfort zone, you know, and I could show people what I got, and that, you know, other women can do it too. But I got a lot more than just that. And then also, you know, I have fibromyalgia, so there's not a lot of, like, awareness in autoimmune and neurological diseases.
And you can definitely bring that stuff into the light.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, I was just recently diagnosed in like 2019, but my mom's got autoimmune diseases too, and, you know, chronic pain is, you can't see it. I've had so many people tell me, well, you look fine. I'm like,
that's what people say, and there's
thanks.
the invisibility factor,
yeah,
right?
it's completely, they're invisible diseases. You wouldn't know. I mean, obviously, I walk down the street, you don't know I have fibromyalgia.
Right.
You don't know I'm in chronic pain, and that, like, literally I'm at like a 5 for everybody else, but for me it's a 2 because I'm just used to it. Like, you know.
And what is, for the audience, what does that mean?
Like, so it's on a pain scale, on a scale of 0 to a 10. Like, how much pain are you in? You know, I'm probably right around a 5 or 6 usually ish. But for me, it's like a 2 because I'm just used to it.
Yeah.
Like, you get used to being in pain. You get used to your skin being tingly and weird. Like, it's just normal. People are like, that's not normal. Well, for me, that is my normal.
Yeah, and like bringing awareness to that. Have you found any organizations that you can support? And
there's not a lot. I've been trying to broaden my horizons a little bit, but I haven't been able to really find anything for, like, adults, like, going through all of that. Because I thankfully have my mom, so, like, I'm a strong human, but it's also a lot when you have to be your own advocate in front of a doctor, because a doctor is just telling you, you know, oh, it's just your hormones. I'm like, no, I don't gain, like, over 50 pounds for absolutely no reason. Yeah. Like, that's not normal. They're like, oh, it's just hormones. I'm like, no, I've had hormones my whole life. That's not hormones.
I know that, like, people people have to be their biggest advocate when they go to the doctors.
And it's frustrating. I mean, thankfully I found some doctors that will be advocates for you, but I feel like it's less common than the other, which is just frustrating in itself. When they're like, "Oh, well, you're within normal range." You're like, "Yeah, but what's the normal range? Like, who's the normal?" You know, because there really isn't a normal. Like, everybody's different. So it's very frustrating. But I thankfully had my mom there, like, as a backbone when I needed one, or just like a sounding board of my frustration, because she understood. But like, talking to people who don't understand what chronic pain is, it's like sometimes it's like talking to a brick wall.
Yeah.
They just don't get it. And it's not that it's not their fault. They just don't get it because they've never had to experience it. It's like talking to people who've never had a migraine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, it's just a headache. It is not just a headache.
That's very true.
Just saying. Definitely not just a headache. But so I wanted to kind of use that platform to kind of bring more awareness to, I mean, it's 2022. We should be talking about this stuff.
Absolutely, we should.
Like, we talk about everything else. Like, why can't we talk about this too?
Yes. Yeah.
At least that's how I feel about it.
No, I think that's really important, I think, and it can help other people as well.
Yeah.
Who feel like they're silenced by, things that other people can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great. As far as like the pageant world and like doing fundraising, have you done fundraising for other organizations to bring awareness to like what they have going on as well?
Yeah, I mean, we've done some. I've done some. Some of my other Sash sisters have done a lot.
What's a Sash sister?
Sash sister.
Sounds kind of cool.
Right. Sash sister is basically my other sisters they're doing the pageant, and so I've got like Mrs. Salem and Miss Multnomah and Mrs. West Plains, and just to name a few amazing humans that I absolutely adore. But those are my Sash sisters, and like we did a fundraiser a couple weekends ago for the Roaring Adventures, which is for military and first responders that have been diagnosed with infertility, and they help them either find funding or find different outlets where they can help as far as like adoption or in vitro or any of that stuff. And these are basically people who have exhausted everything. Like,
right.
They have mortgaged their houses out. They've done everything they possibly can.
Yeah, I don't think people realize the cost.
Oh, it's insane.
That comes with trying to conceive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you think about it, more women have had miscarriages than you think. I mean, we don't really talk about that because it's not embarrassing, but we feel like it's embarrassing. Mm. I mean, because I've had a couple angel babies, and it happens. So, I mean, infertility is a big thing. And I love what Roaring Adventures is doing for our first responders and our military.
Absolutely.
I think it's great. And I think we raised over $5,000 that night.
Wonderful.
And I got to throw some axes, which is even better.
Like that?
Right? I mean, who doesn't?
We'll have to link the website for Roaring Adventures at the end.
Yeah, they're
Definitely.
Amazing people. All of them are just fantastic.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And as far as have you worked with are you looking into any organizations like with animals or like the Oregon Humane Society? Or
I would like to work with Oregon Humane Society.
Yeah.
They've been really busy, so it's been hard to like reach out to them, which I totally understand because during the pandemic, everybody wanted a dog, which I mean, duh, who doesn't want a dog for one? But I mean, companions are a big thing, so I totally get it. And I'm hoping even after this pageant is over, I'm hoping to like reach out and maybe work with them a little bit more, maybe even with just the Mrs. and Miss Oregon for America Strong like community. It would be
Absolutely.
cool if we could support them because it's a big thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think you guys can do a lot of good things. And
yeah. Animals have enriched my life so much, it's not even funny.
I think a lot of other people do. Me too.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. Like, I could probably cry about it. Like, they're amazing.
And going into the modeling, going into the pageantry world, like, it helped build, like, inner confidence for you. Like, what are, like, some self-care practices that you've learned to help you and just help build confidence for you, but keep you sane at the same time.
Yeah. Well, staying sane is super important for one.
Number one.
Right. But doing something for yourself that makes you feel pretty. Like, I never realized how big of a difference it is. Like, and of course my nails aren't done right now, but when I do my nails or get my nails done, like, I'm like, I feel like I could rule the world. Like, you know, that Beyonce song, Who Run the World?
Yes.
Yeah, that's about how I feel with that. And, you know, or if I get up and I put like some fabulous lipstick on, I believe that every woman should have a fabulous color of lipstick.
Oh, I like that.
Because it's I don't know what it is about red. Once you find the red for your skin tone, you just feel like $1 million. You feel like you could walk out on the street and you could just, you know, stop traffic. It just makes you feel sexy. And that there's nothing wrong with that.
No, feeling sexy is beautiful.
Oh, I know. But that's the thing is like finding something that works for you that makes you feel beautiful is so important. Even if it's like taking a bubble bath, you know, at night, just to relax with some candles and some great music, or like the one thing that makes you feel amazing, that's what you need to find, because it is a big deal.
And it's different for everybody.
It is different for everybody.
Yes,
like
yes.
it's obviously not the same for everybody, but it's so important. And I didn't think that it was that big of a deal until I actually started doing that. And I was like, oh, this is a big deal.
And you're doing it just for yourself, not for anybody else,
No.
not because you're going to work that day.
Oh, heck no.
Yeah.
I could give a crap less. I'm doing this for me. Because when you do something for yourself, you end up like becoming your best self. So you're enriching people around you too, because you feel good. And when you feel good, everybody else feels good too.
Yes.
It's like, you know, empaths. Like, we feel that energy. When you put that energy out, people feel that energy too. And if it's good energy, then people are going to just be happier.
That's 100% true.
Yeah.
Are there any other self-care practices that the audience would be, I don't know, could help the audience maybe a little bit, of things that have helped you?
I know doing my nails helps a lot. Also, just taking like 15 minutes for myself and just doing some breathing exercises. As weird as it sounds, breathing exercises help so much. I thought it was a joke. It is not a joke. Like,
No, it's true.
breathing exercises are fantastic, and they've definitely helped, like, with my anxiety, because anxiety and depression come along with, you know, having fibromyalgia. Plus, I'm also ADHD, so it actually helps me focus a little bit too. Breathing is a big thing. But like doing your nails, doing your makeup, doing your hair, taking that extra 10 minutes and, you know, sitting down and making yourself a nice cup of coffee in the morning, like anything like that is definitely, it enriches your life a lot more than you honestly realize.
Yeah, and that
It's
awareness.
a big thing, and I never really honestly thought about that until I started doing it.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think we forget about ourselves sometimes in this society.
Yeah.
You know, we're worried about what's going on in society, what's going on in the world, what's going on with our partner, our family, you know, and it's like, let's align ourselves and be grounded first. And then we can, like, shine that light on other people.
I mean, like, you want to be your best self, because when you can be your best self, then you can help others around you be them and be their best selves.
Yes.
But if you're not your best self, then you can't help anybody else do that. Like, it's just not. Like, you got to love yourself first, and then you can love your partner or love whatever.
Yes.
You can't. It doesn't work the other way around. Well, I mean, you can try, because I've tried, and it doesn't usually end up real well at all. So you just, self-love and self-care is so big. That's why I'm in therapy, because I realize I'm done with dealing with, you know, hurt and pain that I know I haven't dealt with, that I thought I did, but I didn't. And I want to love myself, because then I can love others.
Absolutely.
Because you can't love others until you love your actual self.
Yeah, and you said something to me once, and you said, like, healing is not linear.
Yeah. Oh, it's not.
Yeah, and I just love that quote. I just thought that was really, really beautiful way of explaining a lot of things.
Well, and that's what people think. It's like, oh, time heals. I'm like, time heals, okay.
Yeah.
Sure. But it's not linear, and time is linear for the most part, unless you believe in all kinds of fun sci-fi stuff, which, that's a whole nother podcast. But, like, healing is not linear. It's not. It's, 1 minute you can feel great, and 3 days from now you just want to cry your eyes out. But that's okay. Like, it's because healing is not, it's not a timetable. It is what it is. It's an ebb and a flow.
Absolutely.
And people don't realize that, which is funny because I told my therapist that. I was like, healing is definitely not linear. And she's like, oh my gosh, you hit the nail on the head with that one. Well, I try sometimes at least.
It resonated with me when you said it. I loved it. Yeah.
And it's because it's true. Like, I never really thought of it that way until it just like popped in my brain.
We live in this instant gratification society too.
I know.
It's just like, let it flow.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to be patient. Like, patience is a big thing, and a lot of people don't have patience. Like,
they're gaining more patience. We're bringing it into existence.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yes.
Because it's like, not everything is right now. Like, people are on the whole pleasure thing because it's right now.
Yeah.
They're not looking for happiness. They're looking for pleasure when they should be looking for happiness and not pleasure.
When you talked about the breathing thing earlier, I remember I was talking to someone who was a smoker, and they said, taking deep breaths, why smokers relax when they smoke, besides the chemicals in cigarettes as well.
Yeah.
Is that they're just taking large breaths.
Yeah.
And breathing in. What do you take, 5, 10 for a cigarette or whatever?
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my gosh, I never thought about that before.
Yeah.
That's why another reason that someone feels so relaxed, and so how breath work is so interesting.
Yeah, because you're taking a deep breath in, a deep breath out, because you're breathing that in.
Yes.
You're breathing that out.
Yeah. And so I just thought about that when you were talking about, breathing exercises. And there's a lot of things, but yeah.
Yeah. I've had people like, oh, why are you sighing? I'm like, I'm not sighing. I'm just taking a big, deep breath. And they're like, oh, why would you do that? I'm like, because it's relaxing. Like, have you never tried it? Because you should.
Yeah. Try it, people.
I'm just saying. Just try it. Just take a real big, deep breath in and hold that. Just feel how your body feels. And it just feels, you can almost feel it tingle, like all through your nerves. It just releases a lot of negative crud that's just been building.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If people want to reach out to you, what is your social media handles and email if they want to email you?
Well, my email is missmultnomahcountyforamerica @gmail.com. But also Starla Arnold. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I'm trying not to be on social media so much just because it's kind of a soul suck.
Can be, yeah.
It can definitely, it can be amazing, but it can sometimes be a soul suck. So sometimes I take a break from social media. But if you really want to get a hold of me, email is probably the best way.
Okay. And one more time, like what day, what location, and what time is the pageant?
So it's July 16th, which is a Saturday. It is in Salem at the Historic Theater in downtown.
Do you know what the cost is?
I think tickets range anywhere from like $10 to $45, depending on where you want to sit.
Okay.
But like general admission, I think is like $15.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that because I can't remember.
We'll figure it out. We'll look it up.
But I could definitely give you the link to where you can buy tickets because tickets are on sale right now. So.
Okay. All right, everybody, you heard it. Please, if you're in the area, get down to Salem for say it again, Mrs.
So it's Mrs. America and Miss for America Strong.
Yeah, pageant.
Yeah. It's amazing. You wouldn't think that it is what it is, but it is very empowering.
Absolutely. I think you can help a lot of people, and you guys are doing good.
Yeah.
You're out there doing fundraisers and with your Sash sisters and
my Sash.
Yeah, and supporting other women, and I think that's just a beautiful thing all around.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need women supporting other women.
Absolutely.
Like positively, not like in a negative way. We need women as supporting women, because that's a big thing.
Yes, it is. It's huge.
It's huge. Like, I mean, you know, walking down the street, like, oh my God, you look amazing. Like, girl, you look amazing.
When we were walking over to the podcast today, we both got stopped on the way over here to the studio, and some girl came outside and said, "You guys look beautiful."
She was gorgeous.
Yeah, and she was stunning herself, looking fabulous as well. And so it was just made us smile and giggle, and it was just, you know, it was very uplifting and sweet. So.
And then the other ladies that walk by, like, wherever you guys are going, we want to go.
Yeah, so that energy is good. I think it's coming from, you know, pageant queen over here. So
it doesn't matter though. I mean, that's important. I mean, that uplifts all of us.
Yes.
We want to uplift everyone, especially, you know, in these times and whatever.
Yeah.
You know, we need people who are uplifting each other. We don't need people bringing us down.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's one of the most important things I think that we can offer to the world.
Yeah.
You know, if we're doing better and then we can make other people feel better, they're making other people feel better. It's like that chain.
Oh,
you know?
Definitely. And that's why, like, this pageant, like, I wanted to show people that you don't have to be, like I said earlier, in that box. Yeah. Like, there's so many amazing women come from every walk of life. And it doesn't matter. You know, you can come and you can do amazing things with us and, you know, be that change that you want to see in the world.
Mm-hmm. And it was really honest that, you know, you said, "I've never done this before." And your friend said, "I think you would be great." And you were vulnerable and said, "You know what, I'm going to try this."
Yeah.
So
I thought she was crazy, to be honest. But, I mean, she was right. And I liked it. I mean, I actually love it. I came back second year because, not just because I wanted to make a difference, but just because of my sisters. I mean, they're all so amazing and so inspiring, to be honest, that I wanted to do it again.
Absolutely.
Like one of the other Miss contestants, Miss Multnomah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we are, you know, both going for the Miss Oregon, but I don't care. I mean, she's amazing. Like, I'm so sad I didn't meet her sooner. Obviously, I met her now for a reason, but I'm so sad I didn't meet her sooner because she's just a fantastic human. And honestly, like, if I don't win, I hope she wins. Deserves it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, she's fantastic. I love her to death.
That's beautiful of you to say.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on today.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. To gift you with a copaiba essential oil. It can help with like cardiovascular health and also help with like neurological pain. You can take 2 drops of it.
Okay.
And aid in your wellness, and then you could also just rub it on your body on a place that you have an ailment.
Yeah.
And it can help with pain. So
cool.
I want to gift you for coming on today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I love peppermint. So
yeah, and you can mix it together with those two. And so thank you for coming on. I just want to say to the audience out there, just reach out to somebody that you haven't talked to in a while and just check on them, because you never know how people are doing. A phone call, a text, you know, a visit. Just check in with people, because, you know, sometimes the world can get harsh, and we just need to be there for each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And thank you for listening in and tuning into the Panda Bear Magic Podcast. I'm Rahana, and this is Starla, and I want to thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to the Panda Bear Magic Podcast. A small reminder, please reach out to a loved one, because you never know what someone is going through. Many blessings.